Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. No, you're not crazy. We actually are going back about 8 episodes, I think, to redo Style 4C Munich Helles. And originally I reviewed Rogue Dead Guy Ale, but as I was reviewing it, I thought, man, this really doesn't conform well to the styles that well. And it's not listed as one of the commercial examples, and plus it's an ale, not a lager. So I went to an authentic German restaurant, deli, bar, beer store in Tampa, and I found this. This is Mahrs Bräu Bock Bier. Real German, Munich Helles Bock. It was very expensive. It was almost $9 just for this one bottle. So I deleted the Rogue Dad Guy Ale video, and we're going to do this one. And what's funny is the next beer I'm going to review is the Dunkelsbock, which is basically the dark version of this same or similar style. But we'll get to that in a minute. In fact, let's talk about what's going on here with the 4C Hellesbock. Overall impression, a relatively pale, strong, malty German lager beer with a nicely attenuated finish that enhances drinkability. The hop character is generally more apparent than in other bocks. And let's check the comments and history and all that stuff. Also known as a Maibock, but there is some dispute whether Hellesbock and Maibock are synonymous. Blah, blah, blah. Talks about this style being, pretty hoppy for the style. History, fairly recent development in comparison to the other members of the Bock family. The serving of Maibock is specifically associated with springtime in the month of May. Characters, ingredients, base of Pils and or Vienna malt with some Munich malt to add character, although much less than a traditional Bock. I thought this was a traditional Bock. No non-malt adjunct, so no corn, no rice, nothing like that. Saz type hops, clean lager yeast, decoction mash is typical, but boiling is less than a Dunkelsbock to restrain color development. Style comparison can be thought of as either a pale version of a Dunkelsbock or Munich Helles brewed to Bock strength. While quite malty, this beer typically has less dark and rich malt flavors, can be drier, hopper, and more bitter than a Dunkelsbock. Has more of a rich malt character and more alcohol than a fest beer. So I'm thinking this is going to be kind of similar to a fest beer. So let's go pour this ancient bottle, and I'll be right back. Well, the first thing I can smell, actually I could smell it as soon as I pop the top, is this thing is oxidized as hell. It is just super, super, like honey lemon, sherry kind of thing. Super, super sweet smelling. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pick up any hops that were in there. There is like a breadiness to it. Definitely breadiness. Not wheat bread because there's no wheat in here, but it's not like raw, clean barley. It's like a bready kind of smell. Sweet. A lot of that sweetness is coming from the oxidation, though. So let's check the specs on here, what it should smell like. Moderate to strong, grainy, sweet malt aroma, often with a lightly toasted quality and low Maillard products. So, yeah, it's sort of, it's in there. It's just obscured by the oxidation. Moderately low to no hop aroma, often with a spicy herbal or floral quality. All right, so there's not much hops in this to begin with, so even though I can't smell it because it's obscured by oxidation, it's not a huge ping on it. Clean fermentation profile. I will agree with that. There is, I don't get diacetyl or acetaldehyde, DMS, nothing like that. Fruity esters should be low to none. Very light alcohol may be noticeable. It may have a light DMS aroma. I'm going to go 8 out of 12. I know that's low, but it's just that it's old and the oxidation is killing everything else. Appearance. Well, as you can see, it's a very kind of brown, and it's actually kind of cool how all these particulates, they're just floating there. They're not sinking to the bottom. And it had a pretty big, 3-finger head on there when I poured it. It's a, kind of a off-white, slightly tan, foamy kind of thing. Let's check my, I'd say 9 to 13 SRM. Very cloudy body. You can still see through it, but I have a feeling it's supposed to be clear. So let's check the specs. Deep gold to light amber in color. All right, so it's not completely off on color. Bright to clear clarity. No, it's off on that. Large, creamy, persistent white head. All right, we'll check on that. So let me check the vitals down here. SRM should be 6 to 11, so it's technically it's within the guide. Well, I said 9 to 13, so I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 3 just because of all those particulates floating around in there. It's not supposed to be that cloudy. It's not a wheat beer. Let's see how the flavor held up. Prost. First thing you get is like the honey lemon from the oxidation. No big deal. They get a little bit of, or a lot of just whole wheat bread without the wheat. I can taste the oxygen, or not the alcohol. Although I am drinking this fairly warm, it hasn't been refrigerated very long. So and it comes back around to the honey lemon kind of flavor on the finish. It's sweet, kind of bready. If there's any hops left, like I'm getting just a little bit of like spicy, earthy kind of thing. It's not particularly bitter beer. It's sweet, but it's not like super cloying either. Let's check the specs on here. Flavor moderately to moderately strong, grainy sweet malt flavor. Dominates with some toasty notes and or Maillard products providing added interest. I agree with that. Some toasty notes, yeah, sort of. Little to no caramel flavors, may have a light DMS flavor. I would not say there's any caramel in here. Certainly no DMS. Moderate to no hop flavor, spicy, herbal, floral, peppery. I mean, so even if the hops dropped out for being so old, it's not a big deal because it doesn't need too many hops. Moderate hop bitterness, more so in the balance than in other bocks. Clean fermentation profile, agree with that. Well attenuated, not cloying. I agree with that. It's not cloying. It feels not super well attenuated because it's old, but again, it's oxidation. With a moderately dry finish that may taste of both malt and hops. The finish is pretty clean. It's just slightly more malty. I mean, there's no real hops left here. Flavor, it's there for the style, but because of the age of the bottle, I'll go 14. I think a lot of other beer judges, they probably would have went 10 or lower on this, but it's to style. I mean, it's there. It's just old. Mouthfeel it's actually kind of like a medium, maybe even a medium full body, medium carbonation. It's a very smooth, kind of creamy texture. Get a little bit of alcohol warmth, but it's not burning. Plus, I mean, again, I'm drinking this kind of warm. Let's check the specs on mouthfeel. Medium bodied, moderate to moderately high carbonation. Okay, well, they say moderate, so all right, it's there. Smooth and clean with no harshness or astringency, despite the increased hop bitterness. There isn't really all that bitter. A light alcohol warming may be present. So, yeah, it's actually right there, despite being old. I mean, it might have lost like a little bit of carbonation. I'm going to say 4 out of 5 on mouthfeel. Overall impression, I'll say 7, which gives me a total score of 35 out of 50, which is really ironic because I think that's what I gave the Dead Guy Ale, and I wanted to re-review this to have something that was actually to spec, which this is, but it's just an old bottle. So, German, send me a fresh one of these right off the bottling line, and we'll get a 45 or higher on this. But yeah, it's a good beer. This particular serving is okay. But if this was fresh, I can tell that it'd be, like I just said, like probably a 45 or higher. So I mean, it's a good beer. I like it. And if you can get over oxidation, you would probably like this one too. And I wish I was drinking it a little bit colder, but this is fine as it is. So yeah, 35 out of 50 for Mahrs Bräu Bock Bier. You might remember 6 years ago I reviewed, I think it was probably this exact same beer. They do a Christmas version of this. But I just checked the specs on that one. It was also 6% ABV, and it was like the same color as this. So I have a feeling it's the exact same beer, just repackaged as a Christmas beer, probably for American audiences. So I'll put a link to that in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Prost.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.